What's Good podcast.
Are you ready?
Hey, ladies and gents, this is your girl, Brianna Javon with What's Good Podcast Season 4, and we are excited to have another episode today. As you guys know, we are still in the retail industry, and I do have a guest today, Derrick Turner. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm excited to be here.
Thank you.
I'm doing good, yeah.
So exciting. And as you guys know, we don't have interviews. Instead, we have genuine conversations. So let's get into it. We always start off with an icebreaker. So your icebreaker is, what do you do on a daily basis to grow as a person and entrepreneur?
Ooh, okay.
Was that tough?
It was tough to grow as a person, as an entrepreneur. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I have a big dry erase board that I use, and right now that's kind of my bread and butter because my mind can be in a million different places, and so I write on that board a to-do list to make sure if nothing else I accomplish, let's say 5 things on it. And I have like a monthly and a daily, I guess you could say it's like somebody's planner, but it's on a dry erase board for me. So I think and other than that, I just try to do something in the business every day. You know what I mean?
That mean like researching, reading.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, I probably should be more specific in it. But if I'm being honest, as of right now, I just make sure I'm doing something towards the business.
Nice.
It's real wide right now, but I may tighten up on
it. One day.
Yeah, right now it's just something, and there's a lot to be done. As far as the accounts and how you gonna promote it, all that stuff. So.
Because we're going to get into that. You have your hands in a lot.
Probably too much, to be honest with you. I'm trying to narrow it down, yes.
Because we are definitely going to get into it.
Yes.
So with that being stated, now we're going to get into our genuine conversation.
Okay.
We usually started off with who is the guest of the day, right? Okay. So for you, who is Derrick? Derrick Turner. The Derrick Turner Show.
Who am I?
Yes.
Okay. Like my background?
Just how, whatever that means to you. If you want to talk about your pitch your business, if you want to, pertain to yourself.
Okay. I am probably a super creative.
I can agree.
And just a lover of like creative things and art. And it can be a variety of things. You know what I mean? Like I love film. I haven't been doing much film per se. But I'm a movie buff, just love art. And now I'm at the point where, because I have my hand in so many things, the new exciting task is how to link them all together to kind of cross promote. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So you take somebody like Donald Glover, right? I love Donald Glover because it's like, if you saw Guava Island with him and Rihanna,
I did.
He infused his music.
He did.
He probably wrote the script. You know what I'm saying?
Production.
And the thing is, if you can do it and it's still dope, it's not cheesy or forced. To me, that's like the ultimate. Guava Island to me was like it just don't get no better than that, bro. Your music in here. It's you got Rihanna, so it's good acting. It had a message, so that's where I'm at with all the things I do. Like, how can I have it where, let's say, if it's the Derrick Turner Show, that music in the beginning, what if that could be me?
Yes.
Or somebody I know, and then what?
Because you get royalties off of that too,
right? You know what I'm saying? And then what I'm wearing, of course, Prep District. So, I guess you could just say I'm probably a dreamer. Is honestly what I am at the base core of it. Yeah. Just a dude with ideas, and then I've been fortunate with resources. So they kind of back me in the corner like, okay, you got to do this because you can.
Right. You have the ability to do so.
Right. Some people would have to outsource for some of the things that I have in-house. So that'll push me. It's like, sometimes it just be, why not?
Because I'm jealous. I told you before we press play. That you have it going on.
I don't know about that.
You do. You have it going on. And so I want to ask you, as far as like the inspiration of your creativity, do you have family members that you just grew up and saw being entrepreneurs and creatives? Because I know your uncle plays the saxophone, right?
Yes.
And so is there other family members that you grew up in a household just saw entrepreneurship, saw creativeness, saw anything that just helps you help mold who you are today?
You know what? Yes and no. And I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
try to keep it. I could be complicated sometimes. I'm an only child, so not in the household,
Okay.
but I do have a large family. And yeah, as time passed by, I realized they all have been entrepreneurs.
Mm-hmm.
The uncle, career musician,
Mm-hmm.
he owned a swap shop in South Dallas
Mm.
for a lot of years.
Okay.
And then my uncle that passed owned Acock Tire and Wheel um, on Fort Worth Avenue, somewhere in Oak Cliff, or West Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
Then I had an uncle that owned a video store in the
Mm.
Blockbuster day.
Shut
And
up.
I didn't think about it. You know, I just got to a point where I was in corporate America. And I was like, this ain't it. Like, I can't do
Mm-hmm.
this. And I had it. And you think you crazy when you have that, entrepreneur desire. You're like, ugh.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I sat back and thought about it, like, oh, this is actually low key kind of in my blood, probably.
Yeah.
So,
Planting seeds.
right. So not directly in the household.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I take that back. My stepfather was a photographer. So yeah,
Mm.
you don't think about it. I just
Did he show you some tricks?
uh no,
Mm-hmm.
only because he did it when it was before it was digital. So when you
Gotcha.
had to be in the light room and
Mm-hmm.
developing.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say unconsciously he did because I remember seeing him,
Mm-hmm.
but he didn't know I was going to be in the business. And by the time
Mm-hmm.
I got it, and he was far removed from it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. I mean, did he sit you down and like? Did you ever have conversations with him about it?
I should have.
He's.
I should have, but I'm not gonna lie to you. No,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he would tell me little stuff. Yeah, sports like be firm on my pricing and stuff like that. But
Mm-hmm.
uh, no, and I probably should have
Mm-hmm.
did that. He should have did it. If I'm being, if I'm
But I
being honest.
mean, you like you mentioned, you have so many connections. I'm sure
Yes.
that you learned along the way.
Oh,
So,
absolutely.
what did that look like for you? Just getting better each and every day.
Oh man. Well, this is a tidbit that any entrepreneur could take away.
It's so silly.
For real. I dove out there
Mm-hmm.
because my specific thing is I've always known a lot of people, you know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying, from high school, college, and live in different states.
Mm-hmm.
And so I had the network before I had the knowledge, which is
Mm-hmm.
good and bad.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so the way I got into, I guess this is a double answer, but
It's
the way I
okay.
got into media and stuff is I do music and we needed a video shot.
Mm-hmm.
And so Louis, my business partner,
Shout out to Louie
shout out to
before he
Louis.
get mad at me. No, I'm just kidding.
Shout out to he he's a tech guy. And so he got a camera and shot something with it. And I saw it. And I was like, you did this? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
He's
he's
like,
he
yeah.
he real cold.
I said, you did this with this
Mm-hmm.
camera. And he's like, yeah. And so I copped the camera.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, like on some weird stuff, he ended up needing to pawn the camera or something. So I got it. We kind of hit the ground running. And then again, because my network, I do have a strong network. They saw me with the camera on. I shot one thing, posted it. Then
Mm.
it became phone calls.
Wow.
That's literally it. I haven't done any big marketing. The most marketing I do is posting a shoot,
Mm-hmm.
but I haven't done any, direct campaign ads, nothing.
That's crazy.
Nothing.
I mean, I feel like that's a great takeaway, like you mentioned, as far as the tidbit, because so many people want to use social media just for marketing. And
Right.
it could be other ways. Like it sounded for you, word of mouth. They
Yes.
saw that you were working, and that goes back to just being consistent in your craft. Because you would just
Yes.
take pictures and, hey, this is me behind the scenes. Y'all know I'm busy. Just reach
Right.
out.
Yes. I think I learned somewhere along the way that documenting the process sometimes is better than showing the finished product.
Mm.
People seeing you in the act of whatever you're doing, it
Mm-hmm.
clicks with them, it resonates with them. They like, oh, okay, he shoots. And so that's what I would do. I'd be boom, behind the scene, it's us. And the calls will come. I'm just now at the point where I'm like, okay, let's do some intentional marketing so that
Mm-hmm.
we can get the exact type of client that we want.
So what does that look like after, the beginning stages?
Mhm.
You just working, working, working. At this point, now you got so many people reaching out to you, and now it's like, okay, I know what my perfect customer looks like. What does that look like to just scale that and say, okay, this is my target market?
Um, it's a task
Mm-hmm.
because, and this is the pros and cons. When you dive out there and just shoot everything,
Mm-hmm.
you'll learn along the way what you don't want to shoot anymore.
Mm-hmm.
We've been at funerals, we've been at all different types of things that you'd be like, ugh, I don't really want to be here. And you just
Mm-hmm.
like, okay, well, what do I enjoy doing? I guess the professional term would be, what is our niche, or is it
It
niche? I have
is.
to pronounce it like
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
that. So it's easy in a sense because we've shot so much stuff that we know we don't want to do anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But honestly, it's hard to turn down the network,
Mm-hmm.
because I can be like, okay, well, right now we're just shooting business commercials.
Mm-hmm.
If I get a phone call, what I'm saying, I'm not going.
And they have the right money.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna be like, will say I haven't gotten to that level
Mm-hmm.
where I can just be like, nah, we're not doing that no more.
Mm-hmm.
I've never done that. I can't. I may price somebody out the game. If I'm supposed to say that,
It's, it's all
keep
good.
getting this wrong. But I don't know if I've ever told anybody no.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I hadn't really had to.
Mm-hmm.
It just be kind of working out. I guess I'm really blessed. I need to probably be more thankful.
The gratitude.
I need to be more, because if I don't really want to shoot, it seems like other stuff will come up to where I can honestly
Mm-hmm.
say I can't.
Okay.
Versus I can't think of any time I'll be like, no. And then
Mm-hmm.
if I don't want to do it, I'll just pass it to Louis. Like,
Louis is
bro, you
gonna
want
be
to shoot
back.
this? Yeah. Depending on where we at, depending on what our money looking like at that time.
I want to know, how did this partnership come together?
Oh, a lot of people ask that too, surprisingly. When we shoot, they be like, y'all been knowing each other?
You could tell even when I first met y'all
You
and
said that.
Dr. Patrice, I'm like,
You did say that. I know. So low key, Louis is the man. Low key. Okay,
mm-hmm.
if you're a Dallas native, it used to be a record label called Grifter Records. I don't know
Okay.
how old you are. I don't know.
I haven't heard. Let me confirm. I have not heard of it.
You ever heard of it?
But
Okay.
the fact is that he was a part of a record label.
Yes, in a major way. So,
This is
ooh,
legit.
see, this is bad. Well, I mean, look, it's unscripted. I'm gonna tell you. So, I would almost say it's comparable to what BMF was in Atlanta.
Yes, I know exactly who that is. Big Meat. Uh
Yes,
huh. Uh
yes.
huh. Uh huh.
So they were kind of like the Dallas BMF, in my
Nice.
opinion. That's just the best comparison. I don't know if they like that comparison, whatever. That's the comparison. He was a part of that,
Mm-hmm.
and they were moving. You know what I'm saying? So they kind of got that
Mm-hmm.
element where they moving in big way. They had a Hummer, and he was the DJ. So I met him because my cousin Pat was doing music,
Mm-hmm.
and I was going to do a mixtape, and
Okay.
so he told me about. He was going by DJ Black Ass Wayne at the time.
Ah.
Now he's DJ Panda.
This is great. This is so great.
It's a hell of a story. So,
Mm-hmm.
so I was like, all right, where he at? I think I had heard some. He did a beat for my cousin. I loved it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, where he at? He was like, oh, he in South Dallas. Well, I'm from South Dallas, but at the time I was living in Plano.
Okay.
So I was like, bet, that's even better. I can go back to my roots.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
they had a studio behind Blackjack Pizza in South Dallas.
Okay.
So I go up there. At this time, I'm super preppy, right? That's
Okay.
where the name comes from.
Okay, because we're gonna get to it.
Yeah,
Mhm.
before I gained so much weight, I used to always walk around like Carlton Banks type preppy. Sweater.
With sweat, okay.
Yeah,
I
sport
can
coat.
see that, especially with this polo hat you got
That's-
on. Uh-huh.
That used to be me. So I go in there and it's like it's really refreshing for me. But I know they probably was looking at me like, who is this? You know what I'm saying? Because I'm in the middle of South Dallas and I'm preppy. But all I can do is be me.
Long dreads. Did you have the long dreads then?
No,
Okay.
no, I didn't. I don't think I had a low cut.
Okay.
That's how long I met Louis. Probably I was working at Bank of America, so this might have been '08.
Y'all go back that far.
Yeah, yeah. Let me see. Was that '08? Yes, '08. So I'm gonna try to condense the story because it is long. So I go in there and I don't know what to expect, but in all honesty, this is my a takeaway too.
Mm-hmm.
I had been wanting to do music so much that I just was at that point where I didn't care. I didn't care how I was received. I didn't fit the bill. This is pre Kanye, right? So
Mm-hmm.
Kanye kind of opened the door. for you to be a rapper but not be gangster.
That's true.
Backpack rappers. This is before that.
Mm-hmm.
This is even before Drake. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? If I'm not mistaken. So I go in there and I got a list, a tablet like this
Mm-hmm.
of what I want to do, and we knock it out because I've been practicing.
Mm-hmm. You ready? You
And
came ready to work.
I did.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't know how. And he's used to rappers, I guess, either freestyle in the studio or messing up.
Mm-hmm.
So it was refreshing.
Mm-hmm.
So we kind of hit it off because he like, this dude was ready. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? We knock out the mixtape. I love it. He mixed it up just like perfectly. I'm talking about drops and running the songs into each other. So we just kind of built the rapport.
Mm-hmm.
I did 2 more mixtapes with him.
Mm-hmm.
And then through just music, we started realizing we had a lot of commonalities.
Okay.
He was in the band Maceo.
Okay.
I was in the band at Lincoln. He was a drum major. I was almost drum major. I tried. Didn't make it. Didn't finish.
Okay. It's okay.
And just start kind of hanging tough. And you learn more and more.
Mm-hmm.
Then life happened. I had my first son.
Mm-hmm.
He was a father, so I always pulled all my friends most of them was fathers before me.
Okay.
So I pulled a lot of knowledge from them. We just got cooler and cooler. Then we started this business, Cool Coalition Media. When we started, I want to say maybe 2013 or 14. Like that.
Wow, it's been here for a minute.
Yeah. But this has been a most interesting year, this year and last year, because with the pandemic, you got to tighten up your business. We've been doing business, but we haven't had everything in order. And I'm not ashamed to say that.
What was one thing, before we get into Prep District, what was one thing that you did learn as far as tightening up your business? What did that actually mean to you?
For me, I left a lot of money on the table, not having my business tightened up because, as we're aware, PPP is a big thing right now.
Yeah.
A lot of people got it and misused it or whatever. But when you've been doing business, legitimately, I could have used that. And it wouldn't have been no problem. Like some people probably are hustling to figure out what to do with it. Oh, no, I had a list, but I didn't have everything in place. I wasn't keeping up with our numbers to where I could produce that. I ain't trying to get in no trouble with the feds.
Right.
So we hadn't been able to really take advantage of the loans and the provisions that they've set out for small business owners. And that's been a hard lesson, a valuable lesson, but a hard one. Like, we could have used 20,000. We could have used, equipment alone. You know what I'm saying. But
I know.
But it helped with Prep District because I've already started off better than I did the other businesses because of the many mistakes I made.
Okay.
And as far as me, going back to your one of your others, I'm a trial and error type guy. I mean, I'm trying to be less of that as I get older.
Well, I think there's always room to learn.
Right.
Let me say that.
But I've learned so much from making a whole bunch of mistakes. And you look up and years pass by, and you be like, "Dang, I do know something." You know what I'm saying?
When you sit back,
you don't know nothing else. You know what not to do. You know what I mean? So
that's good.
Yeah,
that
for
was
real.
really good. Okay, so now we talked about film. We talked about rapper, singer, the mixtapes.
Oh, mostly rap.
But you can sing.
Oh, that's debatable. Depending on what day it is, what song it is, what I did that morning or something like that. I'm not just a.
So we have an artist. Like I mentioned before, I gave him a disclaimer before we press play, and I'm giving y'all a disclaimer now. He has so much, like he has his hands in. Okay. So now we're here as far as retail, Prep District. Through everything that you've done, how did you get to Prep District?
Prep District, man, look, and I am passionate about it. My business partner, Louis, again, look, we're talking a lot about him. He got his hands in a lot. He has a lot of talents. And so fashion is something that I've already secretly loved. I think if you're from Dallas and go to the schools I went to, it's I mean, you could not be a part of it, but it's there
right
in front of you. And so when he was doing his, I was just kind of looking like, and I did. And to be honest with you, I didn't want to jump in at first because as a black person, sometimes you had it like, well, my partner doing it. Well, I'm gonna get in the business.
Right.
I can more so help him with his. But it wouldn't get off me. It's kind of I got bit by the fashion bug. Right? So I'll never forget. I told them, and this probably would be helpful to somebody just for us following through your vision. I was sitting with Louie and my friend. She does yoga. We were in Buzz Brews, and I said, I'm gonna do a sweater line. And they were like, what? I'm like, I'm gonna do a sweater line, and I'm gonna just wear it. That's it. It's like you gotta do marketing. You gotta like, no. I'm gonna do a sweater. This gonna be dope. I'm gonna wear it, and somebody gonna be like, where you get that from? That's how I'm gonna do my. It was kind of like, what? That was probably years ago.
But I do think that's still smart though.
That was my
thought. If you don't wear it, then
and that's
they gotta start somewhere.
That's literally my motto now. And like I said, when you've been doing business, you of course you want to have a consumer in mind. But because this is a passion business, it's less of the consumer in mind. It's more so like if I were wear it, we pushing with it. And it's been well received that way. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
But when did I get the idea? I was a fan. This is funny. I was a fan of Carlton, right? And of Scott Disick.
Yes, the Kardashians.
Yes.
Okay.
So before he kind of switched over to the look he got now, we know with the beard and stuff.
He was real preppy.
He stayed like it was like, bruh, like who are you? Why are you fresh every day? You know what I'm saying? I'm like, no,
sunglasses, little button ups, yes.
Like he was just stay fresh, and so I can't remember when I got Prep District. I can tell you when I first like launched the site and moved forward with it.
Okay.
But I don't know when the name came up, but no, it might have been in DC. I think I was living in DC.
That makes sense for district.
Yeah, and I think I just was like Prep. It hit, and then I got scared because I was like, that's a catchy name.
It really is.
Like somebody gonna be like, nah. So I bought the domain ASAP, right? I probably sat on a domain a year or two. Long story short, it was when I was living in Korea. I met a guy that had his clothing line, and to keep the story short, he was so passionate. I don't know if you ever meet somebody and they just like 200. It's like it ain't no playing A or B. This is it.
Yep.
And he was so blazed on fire and gave me such a wealth of knowledge that when I left away from that conversation, I was like, the least I can do is do like one of those print on demand sites. And so I was like, I'm not gonna be lazy. I did that in Korea. I think I bought the domain, I created the email, did a print full to where I just like boom. Let me see. Oh, okay. I got to scale back. In DC, when I thought of the idea, my cousin, again, I'm very fortunate. My cousin was like, he loved it. So he went to Upwork and got somebody to do a logo for me.
Nice.
Okay, and that's where the logo came.
Okay.
And where Scott Disick comes into play, I don't know if I should say this, but it's just the truth. I took a picture of Scott Disick, cropped his head off. I think it was him. I might get sued if he's. But this would be a good problem to have. If it wasn't him, it was some other white man. I cropped his head off, and all I wanted was that sweat. All I wanted was that the part where you see the sweater tied around his neck. And so I don't know how deep you've looked into my logo, but if you look, that's what it is. It's just because I didn't want to associate it with nobody's face. Just when you see that sweater, you know, oh, okay, this is some preppy shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. No, it's already out there. No, you can't. No, you can't.
But he did that. He did the logo for me, so I had that, and that's a testament to my procrastination because I sat on that probably for a year. Then I went to Korea in 2019. I did that, and then because of mental things in Korea, basically it was a relationship that I thought was gonna work, didn't work. I came back home with like a new boldness, and truthfully,
hungry.
Well, this is probably maybe a psychologist would understand this. Anybody probably will, but when sometimes in your life, if you have a huge letdown, let's say if it's your biggest life letdown, then the part of you feel like you have nothing else to lose. You know what I mean? And that's probably a weird way to pour inspiration. But that was a big loss for me because I thought I was gonna have like my little family,
Mm-hmm.
and the other party just wasn't really with that. And so when I came back, it was like, well, what do I have any reservations or hesitation about doing?
Mm-hmm.
Because the only hesitation I may would have had is maybe, she wasn't with it or something.
Right.
But you take that out the table, it's like, well, I ain't got nothing but, got nothing to lose. And so I came home, and that's why I did the show.
Mm-hmm.
We knocked that out. And then when we got into our office, I got a closer look at him making stuff. And I was like, oh. And I
Mm-hmm.
started making mine. And I just kind of like the subtle. I'm gonna end up probably trademarking that simple, subtle, and sophisticated. That's like my
I
little
love
motto.
that. Mm-hmm.
Just keep it, you know what I mean?
Because that's in the bio.
Is it?
I think so. I thought I saw that somewhere.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
I gotta revamp all this stuff. Forgive me.
It's okay.
But yes. Yes. So yeah, that's been my little journey. And then and then I'm from South Dallas. And so I got inspired. That's the funny thing about this. It's like a baby. Like uh when you can do something and your livelihood is not dependent on it,
Mm-hmm.
you do it with a different you move different with it.
That is true.
Nipsey kind of said something about it. He was like, in so many words, he quit letting music be the main money maker
Mm-hmm.
because he wanted to be able to do it from that passion.
Mm-hmm.
Because if it's your livelihood, you can get mad at somebody quick. Like,
That is true.
if they trying to talk you down on the price,
Mm-hmm.
but when you're doing it just because you thought this would be fly,
Yeah. It's like, what else? Where's the substance?
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. And so I think my fascination with it is, again, if you're from Dallas, shopping is part of your DNA, maybe. And so it's just like, I don't have to go, I can literally create something to match something.
That is true.
And I ain't gonna lie, it's a therapeutic.
It is.
I don't know why other clothing designers do what they do, but I do it for the therapy.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just, I don't know, I like fly clothes. It's simple,
Mm-hmm.
staple pieces, you know what I mean? So
I love it.
thank you.
So because we already talked about the logo,
Mm-hmm.
let's talk about, because I know you mentioned that it's kind of like a go with the flow situation. Like, I'm gonna wear it, and then if they say, okay, where you get that shirt from? It's mine, by the way, So today, what does that marketing look like? Because you make it and you put money into it, and of course you want money to come back.
Yes.
So what does that strategy look like?
It's tight. It's tightening up. I'm excited about it too. I ain't gonna lie to you. It's tightening up. Let me just give you my exact thought. My thought now is I want to see what it'll do overseas.
Oh, because it did happen as far as like that burning fire happened overseas.
It did. And one thing I noticed over there, they are very addicted to our culture.
Yes,
over
they
there.
are.
And living somewhere outside of the United States will really give you a different perspective. Because you're like, okay, people, no matter what you're doing, you got to get your target audience. But I think if you're from America, you're usually trying to get that audience in your city or something like that. But you live somewhere else, and you're like, my audience may not even have to be in America. You know what I mean? So, I want to get like a beanie popping overseas.
Ooh.
A beanie or some dad hats like this, and then the sweater has always been my ultimate goal.
Because that's what it started off as far as the idea.
Anything else that people see is because I'm in there and I'm like, ooh, this might be fly. But the sweater is
number one.
Some people want to do baby clothes. I need a sweater. I need a fly.
Like knit sweater?
Maybe. Eventually, and I feel like I'm saying too much, but I'm telling you, it's an exclusive, but I'm gonna tell you.
Hey, thank you so much.
Never heard before. I want to do an all-purpose cardigan.
Oh.
Yeah, to where where it could double as dressy, or put on some Jordan 1s or whatever. But I want to do a fly cardigan. So that's the thing. And then the sweater. When you think the sweater that I want to do, think of Ralph Lauren. Because that ain't gonna lie, that's my guy. You know what I mean? I want it to be able to be on the rack next to the teddy. You know what I mean? That we're gonna pay what, $295. But here's the thing: as a person who's been a consumer of polo, it'd be worth it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's not shrinking the next wash. You know what I mean? If you send
Quality.
you mess around and send it to the cleaners
Mm-hmm.
or don't dry it, I've had polos for years.
Yeah.
And so I wanna do that. Sweater and a cardigan, then everything else comes to be a bonus.
That is so good.
Those
So
are the
are
main
you
things.
revamping now, or is that something like quarterly or next year or
No, oh my bad. I'm sorry to answer your question specific. No, now the marketing is getting more intentional,
mm-hmm.
and basically I want to own the winner.
I wanna
And that's
own
funny
the
because
winner.
I always tell my circle, we own the winner. That's been my thing, like for 5 winners. I like the winter time, and so I like
So Drake got the summer and you got the winter. That's what I came.
I be wanting to really. Hey, this is a testament to entrepreneurs too. Sometimes you got to keep saying it until it happens, until it
That is
manifests, right?
too funny to
And so
me.
I always say we own the winner, and what I mean by that is I be wanting to release music as soon as that winter comes.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's clothes, now it's
Mm-hmm.
film, just blitz to where it's like you just see so much, of my creative expression. But
Mm-hmm.
the marketing is getting way more intentional now
Okay.
because oh my bad, I skipped a part. I came up with the 75215 shirt to pay homage to where I'm from, South Dallas,
I
and it
saw
took
that.
off.
Mm-hmm.
It took off. Put me in a weird position because I didn't really want to get known for t-shirts,
Mm-hmm.
but uh, I said, let me not overthink it
Mm-hmm.
because this can fund what I'm really trying to get to.
Makes
Yeah,
sense.
and I think that's a
Mm-hmm.
lesson too. Sometimes you can be your own worst critic and overthink the hell out of stuff, and it's just like, man, some stuff doesn't apply if you're not going to quit. You know what I mean? A lot of
Mm-hmm.
times, some people will move like, this is my golden whatever. But when it's a passion project or you pretty like treat it like a child, you're not going to stop nourishing your child.
That is
You see what I'm
true.
saying? So you
That's
don't have
true.
to bank everything on this whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And
Mm-hmm.
I had to literally just be like, bro, you do what you want to do. Like, I was scared I was going to get typecast, so to speak. Like, oh, you do t-shirts.
Mm-hmm.
But again, uh, I'm not even focusing on necessarily local target audience.
You said overseas, didn't you?
Yeah, so they
I
can
am not
like be,
mad.
you know what I mean. And so
Mm-hmm.
far, so good. With the clothing business, I ain't got no complaints. I've
So
made
good.
strides. Like, just I think people probably would want my hand. You know what I mean? Especially I haven't did any
So
intentional
good.
marketing,
Mm-hmm.
just word of mouth.
Mm-hmm. And that works.
Yeah,
I think it's so important to say that because I know
it
I've been
does.
preaching that, but to actually have an example,
Yeah,
that means so much because Instagram shuts down what every quarter?
yeah, yeah,
Don't sue me. Don't
yeah.
sue me. But that's just being the honest truth. It shut down every quarter. So when that shuts down, what else are you going to do to talk to your audience? Do
Right.
you have an email list? Are you still advertising? Are you advertising through a radio station? Plug. I am putting a plug out there. Like what are you doing else to continue to grow within your business? I
Right.
just thank you so much for saying that because word of mouth is an option
Absolutely.
and it works.
Absolutely. I'll give you another a jewel
Mm-hmm.
exclusively on
Drop
the
them,
What's
drop them,
Good
drop them.
podcast. My theory, even with the media, uh, I named it the quick therapy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Theory, and I'm basing it from Quick from Coming to America.
Okay, okay, okay.
It's the point where Richard Pryor say, "Man, you can't kill everybody," or something like that. And he look at him and he say, "It's not how many people you shoot; it's who you shoot."
Wait, are you talking about Harlem Nights?
Yes. Did I say Coming to America?
Yes, you did.
Harlem Nights. Please correct me. I'm a movie buffs out there. Don't beat me up. Harlem Nights. That was so profound to me.
But I knew what she was talking about,
Yes.
though.
So what I do is, and this is a lesson
Mm-hmm.
that I have to constantly learn because I'm a nice guy, so I like to put my merchandise on people.
Mm-hmm.
But you got to sell, you got to make money. But I put it on influential people.
Mm-hmm.
If I think for first and foremost, if I think you're gonna look good in it, or you know what I'm saying, I just value you as a person,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm gonna give you something.
Oh, that means a lot to me because I got a shirt today.
Straight up, right? Straight. But also you put it in people's hands. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, because nothing, like you said, beats an organic relationship.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I could solicit you, or I can be like, check that out. Let me know how they fit. Let me know you got something to work with that. And then more often than not, that's turned to another sale. People are like, bro, this kind of I had one chick, she's like, this fits really well. She's like, I like this, better. I appreciate it. And that's feedback I needed. So you got, I guess that's market research in a sense to see how people feel about it. But
that's so good. But you got to put it out there.
yeah, but I literally use that Eddie Murphy because if I get it in the right people's hands, that may be more impactful than me trying to sell 1,000,000 after. I do want to sell a lot, but I want it to be like
you move with intention, basically.
Yeah, put it in the right people's hands. So it's been working out pretty good.
So good. Okay, so now we're going to get into the storytelling portion of the podcast.
Okay.
So, as you know, we have highs and lows, right? With you, what is a moment where you can say, Derrick, I did that, pat on my back, awesomeness? Explain that moment.
That moment would be right where it's going to connect right to what I just said. When you're putting it in people's hands, it's a fear of, okay, are they going to like it? They could like it, but are they going to tell somebody else about it? You know what I'm saying? And with me being so new to it, and every shirt at this point is handmade, like I'm physically making every shirt.
Wow.
Yeah, and so sometimes there might be mess ups. I mean, I don't get people mess ups, but just different things, it's the fear of like, man, what are they going to think about the quality of blah, blah, blah. But me getting it in the right people's hands, as far as for the 75215 shirt, people have put their families in it. Notable people, people that was like ex-NBA stars,
nice.
WNBA stuff. People have put it on, did an official photo shoot.
What?
Not by me. And posted it, and I'll be like, whoa. 2 people did that. 2 people. In my high school, Lincoln, shout out to Lincoln, best high school in Texas. That network is strong. And the people that did it, they both from South Dallas, and they went to Lincoln. They did official photo shoots where I'm waking up being tagged, and I was like, whoa.
That is legit.
You know what I'm saying? That's something I would do, like, hey, let me do you a photo shoot. But they just thought it was so fly, they did it themselves.
That
and
is
that led
so
to more
cool.
business. Yeah. So that was why I had to be like, okay, dude, what you thinking, right? Because some people like, man, don't give them none. Nah, bro, you gotta. It's your community, especially specifically with that collection, the South Dallas one, because that's where I'm from. I was born in Parkland. You know what I'm saying? I'm a South Dallas baby, so it's worked out well. That's the high. That would be my high.
Okay.
I think.
Well, before I move forward, congrats, because that is beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
I mean, that's what happens when you move in intentions. Like, you're being very strategic on how you do things. I love that.
Yes.
So on the other end, what is a low to where you kind of question if I should move forward, still be an artist in media, film, retail? I mean, the list goes on for everything that you do, right?
But I can give it to you.
Just anything that question did you question yourself? And when you did question yourself, how did you push through? Because like you mentioned, you're still here and you're still moving.
Okay. Look, let me try not to give you the long answer. Music jumps out at me. Music, our people and culture don't always appreciate the aging of a quote unquote rapper or any type of artist. That's a little different if you're an R&B singer. They give you a little bit longer time before they try to cancel you out and say you're too old. So I've struggled with that because I still see things from the consumer side. I'm not oblivious to it. So maybe like, oh, you too old to rap. Everybody get a real job, don't you think? Yeah. But you have to talk to yourself and be like, I mean, did Luther have an age?
Right.
You see what I'm saying? He was saying until the Prince out. These people did it until they couldn't do it anymore.
Look at Charlie Wilson.
Right. And so I've told myself, if I feel like I'm still good at it, still do it. And this may be helpful for artists, for a music artist. If you got a story to tell, then you still maybe should do it. You know what I mean? Because it's a lane for everything. J. Cole has a solid core fan base that may never leave, and he's in a in the lane of just doing what he wants to do.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so sometimes you can get caught up in who everybody you listen to are the best. But if you just do you, simply put,
Mm-hmm.
man, you know, if you got the resources, if you can do it, if you're conscious of what's out there, I think that's good too, so that you won't be out of touch.
You're right.
You know what I mean? But
Mm-hmm.
now, as far as music, I guess the last way I describe it is, I look at it as art now.
Mm-hmm.
When you're younger and you do music, you want to get signed, and
Mm-hmm.
you need the record label for validation. Well, when
Mm-hmm.
you get my age,
Mm-hmm. You're so silly.
you look at it as art,
Mm-hmm.
and how can I capture it, do it on the highest level I can do it, and capture it.
Mm-hmm.
Because let's say if I do that and put it on YouTube and it never get any views, but
Mm-hmm.
then year 5 somebody see it and be like, oh, or if nothing else, if my kids see it
Mm-hmm.
and they be like, damn, daddy was doing it on a high
Yeah.
level.
Yeah.
So
That's
so I
important.
got this in my blood. And
Mm-hmm.
you know what I'm saying? So when you
Mm-hmm.
look at it like art and know that art is subjective, I've been to art galleries where it's a bathing tile with a pink streak
Mm-hmm.
and it's $10,000.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So
Mm-hmm.
if you view whatever it is that you're doing like art, and you know, take off the need for validation for it,
Mm-hmm.
just do it because you feel it,
Right.
and that's a little bit more liberating than saying, oh, I'm X age and I didn't make it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? That'll keep you, you know, doing. I mean, with everything, you got to be smart. You got mouths to feed, but uh, my lows have been struggling with that with music.
Mm-hmm.
With the clothing line, a lot of times people come with custom orders
Gotcha.
and they may not get, hey, I'm trying to build a brand. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
trying to do the church's t-shirts, nothing against that. And I have to be smart and say, well, even though I'm not trying to do that, I could do it.
Mm-hmm.
And then they can fund.
Mm-hmm.
So that's
I was
been,
just gonna elaborate on that actually.
yeah, that's been the challenge. But also, honestly, too, if you have a super positive outlook, the challenges are just experience opportunities to learn.
Mm-hmm.
Because even when I've had that, I learned something new. This particular design, excuse my shirt being a little, came out of somebody saying, "Can you do this?" And I was like, in my mind, I'm like, "Bro, just pick one of the ones that I got." Why
Mm-hmm.
you trying to get me to do different stuff?
Right.
But when I went to trying to create an idea, I'm like, "Man, that's kind of fly."
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Just something simple,
Yeah.
box,
But you took that opportunity.
right?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? He don't know. He'll know that I was mad at him when I was doing it. But then after I pressed it and looked, I was like, "Damn!" And
Mm-hmm.
I ran with it. So
Mm-hmm.
that's been the challenge with the clothing. Just learning so many different ways. The market is saturated, but honestly, I don't even care about that
Right.
because it's, you know, you just gotta think of the piece of you that you bring to whatever you're doing,
Because they buying from you, not the product necessarily.
and that's what I've really learned. This is one of
Mm-hmm.
the first things I've had that was a physical product to sell,
Mm-hmm.
and that's been a joy for me too because you
Mm-hmm.
know, photos and stuff, that's, I guess you would say, virtual.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But this is a physical, so it's been fun for me.
That's so good.
Yeah, it's been really fun for me. But I hope I answered your question.
You did.
The
You
lows,
did.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The low with the media was not having my business straight. Like I told you,
Mm-hmm.
that was like, oh, I mean, we left so much money on the table.
Mm-hmm.
But you know,
But now since you got it, what if it's double what you thought you were going to get? But now since you're prepared, you may get it triple, quadruple time because now it's together. Just wasn't that season for you to receive it. That's
yes.
how I have to look at things sometimes.
So
Like,
yeah,
okay, I missed this. I saw this gentleman. It was such a good analogy. He was saying, when you're sitting at a bus stop, right? You know, the buses come in rotation. So let's say the first bus in this analogy is an opportunity.
okay,
You're picking up your stuff and the bus is waiting on you, and then the bus leaves because you're not together at that point,
right,
right?
right, yeah,
And so the next bus come and you just sitting there, you know, you get a little tired, so you might put your bag down. So it's another opportunity, but it's not the same opportunity because it's a new bus.
right,
So the bus comes and now you're trying to pick up that bag that you got tired on, and now you missed that second opportunity. So now you're sitting there. I thought it was so cool when he was saying it. So now you're sitting there and there's another bus coming, but now you got your bags and everything and you're just there. So even though you missed those other two opportunities and they all may not have looked the same, now you're at a point to where you're ready and you're available and you're open to whatever that next opportunity is. Because since you missed those two, you could have just went home and was like, I'm done. I wasn't together and I'm just over it at this point, because sitting there outside waiting for opportunities, you can get tired.
Yes.
You can get restless. You can just, at that point, have no hope. But sitting there and being ready and getting in preparation for the next opportunity, those two buses were to help you get prepared for what that next opportunity is.
Because you already prepared by the time that,
Isn't that good?
Yeah. Yes.
I thought that was so awesome when I heard that man say that.
That's a little something. Yeah.
I thought that was so cool. So now, like when I miss certain things, and I'm like, okay, let me take this as a learning lesson versus being so down on it.
Right.
So I can just be prepared and come like times 10 for that next season in my life, for that next opportunity. So that's what I was telling you, shoot. Now that y'all got y'all business together, that $20,000 could be like 75,000 next time around.
Yeah, because another thing I've learned along all these journeys, the more you have done it yourself, the more people are prone to invest or just contribute. And we're at that period to where people have been seeing kind of the work that I've been doing with Prep District, and people will be like, "Man, I want to invest." So it puts you in a different. And another thing too, the show, the Derrick Turner show. I mean, like I just told you, it kind of came from, I guess you could say, a heartbreak to where I pushed it. But my mind frame in it, I'm thankful for it because I've low key wanted to do a talk show, but I always looked at what I didn't have, But being put in a certain space again to where you feel like you don't have nothing to lose, I just viewed it. I was just like, man, look, we're gonna do it. Like, I don't care, we're gonna do it.
Yeah,
and
push it.
that was such a learning experience because we're in a time right now where I guess people are getting access to networks via Roku and stuff. And I had so many people hit me like, bro, your show polished and already ready. So when I get this network, I want you on stuff that I ain't even really think about. I was just moving. And I guess the lesson in that for me was just like completing something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Nobody can't take that away from me. And the way I start to look at stuff again at this age is, if you want to do it, instead of looking at it like, oh, they won't let me do this or they won't let me in this, just create the platform.
That's true.
If the worst case scenario, you'll learn from it. You know what I'm saying? Because if that show don't do nothing, it's out, it's up, and it's almost like a resume builder. Like, can this guy talk in front of the camera? Look, here's me for 11 seasons. You tell me what you think. You know what I mean? So
it's here, portfolio.
So, you know what I'm saying? And that's what I admire about your consistency and how you doing. You be like,
thank you.
I'll be like, hey, she be killing it. She be on it. Like, you got your days you saying this, and I'll be like, okay, I need to get on it. I need to get on my stuff.
Thank you. I feel like I still have a lot of work to do, but I do receive it. Thank you.
You have that I feel like you have that structure though. Like you know what I'm saying? I've read things about being successful in business, and they say having your systems together and duplicating yourself, But when I see what you're doing, it's that consistency, that structure. Even me booking, I was like, okay, yeah, she the real deal. I could use that. I need to do that. I need to. Not that structure. So hats off to you for that, for real.
And with that being stated, I think that's a good transition. What would be one advice maybe you received or you've seen somebody and you received it and implemented into your business? What is one free advice that you can give somebody that's listening right now?
The consistency, and completion.
That's very important.
And starting, again, me starting this clothing line, it ain't like I did it. I mean, I started it with 2019, so that's after everybody and everything. You know what I mean? So I think I heard somebody say, when you think about a market being saturated, you got to look at the bread aisle in Walmart.
That is true.
It's a million different brands. So I think, yeah, to anybody starting out, just remember it's an extension of you. You know what I mean? Your
That's right.
personality, your traits, and that's what's going to make it different, even if it's 10 other whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And
Mm-hmm.
just, I think I had a guy tell me one time, he's like, I don't compare myself to people or something, but I do compete.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's good.
He told me, I don't know if it was from him or he read it like partner Broderick told me that
Shout
he's
out
like
to
D.
Brian.
Shout out to Broderick, man. Broderick also taught me a lot this year. So when I'm telling you how to have my numbers right,
Mm-hmm.
he was going to invest. He's like, D, what's your number? What's your number? And I didn't know my numbers as far as what I'm bringing in.
Mm-hmm.
And he was shocked. And the lesson I learned in that, right,
Mm-hmm.
is that you can be moving and you have a perception.
Mm-hmm.
So people saw me as more organized than what I, really am. Now I could do with that what I will, but it made me be like, okay, let me get on my stuff because
Mm-hmm.
I'm viewed as having it together.
Mm-hmm.
Why not get it together? You know what I mean?
No,
Like
for real.
I'm already.
That's how I feel. Like I'm so unorganized.
No, man, no.
I really feel like that. That's why I'm just like, yep. In my head, I'm like, yeah, I'm the same way.
Well,
Yeah.
my partner, he's a rough one. Like and having good friends and network people that's successful.
Mm-hmm.
That's something that sharpens you up too. And he was like, bro, you need to do your numbers, bro. He's
Mm-hmm.
like, because you might do your numbers, you might not even need me or whatever. Because we just had it was an investment conversation,
Mm-hmm.
which I was thankful to have. I'm like, some people might never get investors, but I was at least in talks of it. But
Mm-hmm. And that counts.
and then when I did do my numbers, I was like, wow, So takeaways, man, be consistent,
Mm-hmm.
complete things, and document it. However that may look, but being on top of your business, you can see your growth. You can gauge your growth. You know what I mean? You can do
Mm-hmm.
an analysis and see what's working. It's to your benefit as a business owner to know, what your numbers and stuff are looking like. And I learned that the hard way,
That's good, though.
for real. So,
All right, so tell the people how can they get in touch with you? That's website, Instagram, Facebook, etc. And what's upcoming for you?
okay. You can follow me on Instagram right now and Facebook. I think I have Prep District up. But I do have the website
Mm-hmm.
at prepdistrict.com. So you can definitely go there. Bear with me. I'm updating it. I'm getting it right. It's all me right now. So I'm working hard.
Mm-hmm.
And up and coming is the winner. The winner.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We're killing it this winter. I'm gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna lie to you because
Speak it.
I'm gonna get this beanie.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in talks right now. I want to be like a knit beanie and
Ooh.
blue. I'm probably gonna do one color to test it. And
Yes. Pre-order. Put me down. I love beanies.
you love
I
okay.
love
I
beanies. And
got
crew
you.
necks. I could be the
Yes.
crew neck queen. I love crew necks.
Well, these beanies are going. I'm gonna launch it in Sweden.
Mm-hmm.
I have a
Oh.
friend in Sweden, and my thought process. I'm giving a lot of game away, right? My thought process is it's more so cold in Sweden.
It is.
I mean, they may get a little something. I don't know,
Mm-hmm.
but I know they get that cold weather.
That is so
So
cool.
I know her, and that's another advantage to having a physical product. It can go where you go.
Mm-hmm.
So because I'm fortunate to have traveled,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna try to always take it with me. You know what I mean? And just kind of put that flag, like, okay,
Mm-hmm.
well, Prep District has been here now. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna try to launch it in Sweden. Try to get down there and give me a little pop up.
Come
That's
on.
my
That's
plan.
so nice. That's my plan. I think you're gonna do it. I know you're gonna do it.
Like
The winner is
it's
yours.
winter. Like so, be looking for winter. I'm talking about that first official day of winter. Something is dropping. It'll probably be the sweater. I'm gonna say the sweater. The cardigan will come when I get more funding.
Okay.
But that sweater, I'm almost 99.9% that's gonna happen.
I am so excited for
That's
you.
gonna happen. Yeah.
Because every time you say that now, I'm thinking about Drake. Like
What?
he always said he owned the summer, and now every time I hear Drake say that, I'm like, well, I know somebody that owned the winter. So
I'm a Drake fan too. I am a Drake fan, man. Yeah.
Okay. So we are towards the end of our conversation, and it's called the motivational moment.
Okay.
I bring either a Bible verse, a quote, anything that just sparks my eye that I see, I bring it on the show. I talk about my thoughts with it, and you share your thoughts.
Okay.
You ready?
I'm ready.
Today is, I'm excited about it. It's a Bible verse. It
Okay.
is.
All
I'm
right. Let's do
excited.
it. Let's do it.
Only reason I'm excited because I have been so fortunate that all my motivational moments tie into the conversation.
Okay.
Maybe like 98%. So today, I feel like it kind of ties into it again.
Okay.
Okay. So this comes from Proverbs chapter 10, verse 4.
Okay.
Lazy hands make for poverty, but diligent hands bring wealth.
Mm.
So when I read this, and I just kept reading it, and then I thought I did a little research on it, and the first thing that popped up was diligent.
Yeah.
I feel like it goes back to being consistent and
Yeah.
also being careful, and it goes back to intentions, everything that we talked about.
It does time. Yeah.
When I read it, it was like, you just got to be careful and you don't have to be necessarily busy, right?
Right.
And that goes back to marketing and figuring out social media and all this other stuff. Maybe that's not what you're supposed to do with your business. Maybe you're supposed to have a lab and you're supposed to be in here getting your shirts together or formulating or whatever that looks like for you, and maybe having a team that's working on social media, right? But
Yes.
as you mentioned, it's an extension of you with your business. So you have to make sure that you put in all that you can within that business and whatever that looks like for you. And so when I read it, it was like, just be diligent in all the work that I have. I
Right.
may not be able to get all my to-do list, but let me do as much as I can.
Yes.
Tomorrow, those are tomorrow's worries, right?
Right.
If I don't make it, I don't make it. At the end of the day, I can say, I gave today everything. And that's what fulfills me at times versus me looking at a to-do list and saying, dang, I didn't do everything. I just want to walk away from my day knowing that I feel I'm fulfilled. I
Right.
did what I was supposed to do. I did everything I could do. Did I procrastinate? That's something I may have to talk to myself about. But doing the best that I can and learning from those mistakes and just applying it the next day or maybe that next second, whatever that means. But it's just being diligent and just moving a certain way, being strategic, doing things with intentions, and just being very careful. Because at the end of the day, God gave us these gifts. So we have
Right.
to be careful on how we use them, who we allow in our presence,
Right.
who we talk business with. You never know. People are out here. I don't want to go too deep into it, but everybody don't wish you the best.
Right.
That's just to shorten that. Everybody don't wish you the best. So it's just moving with intentions and just being very careful on how you move with your business.
Yes. I agree with everything you said. Diligent is just. I think that's an important word.
Mm.
I want to. You cut me off. I'll go too long. It's time on me. I went to this maybe a seminar or something, a business seminar, and the guy said, whatever characteristics you have, your business is going to take that on. Like if you late all the time, it's going to spill over. If you
Mm-hmm.
whatever. And I said that to say, I don't think this is talked about a lot, but low key, uh, maybe not all the time, but more often than not, if you doing that due diligence in your business, it low key will make you a better person. Period.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because you dotting them I's. And then you want to have your integrity because you're dealing
Mm-hmm.
with customers.
That's right.
You don't want to put a bad reputation out there.
That's true.
So it low key makes you a better person,
Mm-hmm.
which I guess lends to his theory. Your qualities, your best things are going to come out, even your worst things.
Mm-hmm.
But that diligence has really helped me out because it helps me to tunnel vision and not worry about, okay, so and so got a clothing line, whatever. Do you? Do
Mm-hmm.
you put in the 10,000 hours and you learned your craft and you're doing
Yes.
it. Your shirt is quality or whatever. It's a market. Everybody likes something.
That's
You
true.
know what I mean? And
Mm-hmm.
it's enough people out here to where you can be making money and not taking away from nobody. Heel
Mm-hmm.
figure and polo coexist in a world of fashion.
They really do.
And now here Yeezy is coming up.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a
Mm-hmm.
Yeezy fan. Not
Mm-hmm.
as some of his latest stuff, but people wear it. And
Mm-hmm.
I think it's real comfortable. You
Yes.
know
And
what I
that
mean?
counts. That
So
counts.
so diligent. Yeah, that's I like that. I like that.
Well, that is it, friend.
That's for real.
Did you enjoy yourself?
I did, man. This is my first. Got the first exclusive prep district interview, and look transparent and all that stuff.
Yes, you said well, we gonna make it raw. We off the script. You know what I'm saying? Did you have any last words for the people? Anything else that you feel like I may have missed?
No, no. I think people should stay tuned in because I know you. I'm excited to see where you're gonna go with it because you kill it. You effortlessly. You know what I'm
Thank
saying?
you.
Interview people and you do your thing. I think you got the structure. I guess only you know that you need. My perception is like, hey, she is on it.
This is motivating me to get my butt together all the way. So this can be true not only in front of the doors but behind the doors. Well, we thank you guys so much for tuning into another episode of What's Good Podcast. If you're listening to this morning, noon, evening, or night, thank you, and we will see you guys next time.
Thank you for having me. Yeah.